Megan Hicks of I Run Far, and I'm here on the island of La Palma, a couple days before the 2016 Transvulcania Ultramarathon. I'm here drinking some coffee with Adam Campbell. Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. I think we're on coffee number 3 right now.
Cheers.
So, yeah, cheers. Yeah. Jet lag.
This interview has been brought to you by, caffeine curing for jet lag.
Yeah, I think we're finally on semi-coherent stage now, so this will be interesting.
So, how are you doing? It is, early spring, where you're coming from, in the deep, dark depths of Canada.
It's always interesting preparing for the first race of the year, especially coming off a Canadian winter. There's a lot of skiing this winter, a bit more scrambling and climbing than actual running. Probably the least I've ever actually run.
Prior to
a race, although I've trained a lot. This is different types of training, but I think a lot of the mountain runners in Europe have a similar kind of approach to it, so we'll see how it works. Yeah.
So you all can have conversations at the starting line of like, how many running miles do you have on your legs? How many miles do you have on your legs?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I think the bigger issue is just going to be really, really sore the day after the race. A bit more worried about that than anything. But,
a little quadriceps failure at the end of the final descent.
Yeah, well, 20 kilometers of downhill at the end will definitely take its toll for sure. But no, it's a great opportunity to put in an early season race, and it's such a cool atmosphere here. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, this place is not unfamiliar to you. You've been here before.
No, I had a bit of a shocker of a race here 3 years ago.
2013.
That's right.
You came in good shape, but...
Yeah, I caught some sort of a bug on the way over here. And
along with a couple other folks, eh?
Yeah, quite a few people
I just said A.
Yeah, nice, welcome. Cheers.
My next door neighbors are Canadians too, so...
Okay, do they say A a lot?
No, they make fun of me when I say
okay. I don't really know that many Canadians say A. A few of us got sick coming over here, so one problem with really long haul flights and then eating new foods and sleep deprivation before races and everything. And it's a part of racing internationally, and you have to manage yourself. And
so did you get a stomach bug, or what did you get?
It was a stomach bug.
Okay.
And started the race, and it felt okay for about 2.5 hours. Okay. And then it was basically lights out. I took a little nap on the side of the trail. Literally took a nap on the side of the trail, and ended up hiking the rest of the day out there, which was a really different experience because it was the first time I'd ever had a bad race at an ultra. And once I took a little nap and recovered a little bit and got some food into me, I got to meet some people who were a little further back in the race and had a really, really good time with them, and sort of
turned it into a party.
It turned into a bit of a party. Well, it was more helping them with their struggles at that point. Yeah. I'm not sure how much they were partying back there, but it was just neat to see how much support and camaraderie people give each other out there. A lot of the times, you kind of take it for granted that you can go and race 50 to 100 miles and you're actually racing it, but for a lot of people, it's a huge accomplishment to finish a race like Transvulcania, and it is for anybody, but. People train all winter and for years just to be able to complete a race like that, and you could really feel that back there. And I got a lot of energy from that. I thought that was really cool. And
you might have said that you had a little alcohol on the way too.
Well, one of the guys I was helping out was having some cramps, so I ran up to the next aid station to go get some pretzels and ran out and some water for him and some ice to help him massage his legs a little bit. Yeah. And
wow, massage therapist on the show.
No, I wasn't massaging his legs. He could do it himself. Because
that would be amazing.
No, that's not a service I'm known to offer. So Sage, no massages for you while we're racing.
Hey guys, let's all take a break and grab each other's legs.
Yeah, that's weird. People already think ultrarunners are weird. Let's not get into that.
Making it even more weird.
No, that's right. There was a house that was having a bit of a party at it, and so I went and asked them if they had any ice. They didn't, but they had watermelon and beer, so I had watermelon and beer with them before bringing back some ice for the other guy.
Right on.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, when I kind of look at your style of racing or like how you choose races, like from my perspective, it seems a little random. Like, I like this, I'm going to do this. I like this, I'm going to do it again. I don't really care what I'm quote unquote supposed to do as a fast sponsored runner. I'm going to do what I find interesting. So what brings you back to this race a second time?
Oh, that's interesting. So I like to do races that inspire me.
Okay.
And there's a couple things that inspire me. You know, fast fields will inspire me. Beautiful courses like Hard Rock inspire me. And you're right. I mean, this year my race schedule is very random. Like I'm doing the Mountain Marathon in Alaska, which is less than an hour long. Doing Transvulcania. I'm doing a new race at start of August, and it's called X100.
Which I haven't even heard of until talking to you.
Yeah, and it's super cool. You go from Germany to Italy across the Alps, which would be really wild. Some local races, and I think one of the things I've been racing semi-professionally since I was about 17. So I used to race in the World Cup triathlon circuit, and now, and it's a lot of years racing.
Yeah.
And I just find that if I don't need to race quite as much anymore to get inspired. Like I've got such an amazing backyard in the Canadian Rockies that you know it takes something special to draw me out of there, because there's a lifetime of exploring to be done back there.
So are you back here for the competition? Are you back for the island community? Are you back to kind of like revenge your stomach bug?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say I want to feel any revenge. If anything, it's more just to prepare for races later on in the year.
Okay.
But it's such a cool opportunity to get to come to a tropical island after a winter of freezing my toes.
Yeah.
But when I was offered the chance to come back, I said I'd love to go back there. And you're right, it is really, really fast. And I find even in the last 3 years racing that the level's gone up a whole level. I think the top is probably about as quick as it always was.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's changed too much.
But it's filling out.
It's
There's
really
more people
filling
there.
out. Yeah. Now it used to be a couple of years ago, an hour and a half in a race like this, you could still finish top 10. Whereas now you're starting to more like than half an hour.
Right.
So it's really, really tightening up, and I love that level of head-to-head competition. So many ultras you're by yourself for just such long stretches. Whereas now it's a real race the whole time, and you have to manage yourself differently. And I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And it makes you push yourself to the next level as well.
When has been the last time you think that you've seen something that's comparable? Like, I know ultra running and trail running is changing really fast, and races are growing more competitive. But when's the last time that you raced within a pretty deep men's field?
In an ultra, or just a general type race? Yeah. Probably the deepest race I did was the year I ran Sierra Zanel, and it's the same thing there. I mean, you're fighting the entire secondary race, and that's only I think it's like 25 or 27K race, so it's a lot shorter, and you're really on the whole time. The year I ran CCC was pretty fun too. I mean, it was quite competitive for their first 30 or 40K, and then it thinned out quite a bit. And when I ran Ultra Trail Mount Fuji, I was usually on Charrier the whole time. Yeah. For a good 120K of that race, which also felt like, although you're kind of helping each other along in a 100-miler, as opposed to racing each other until the end, but until he decided to really hurt me. And so those are the last 2 times when I felt like it was real head-to-head, but a lot of times you're by yourself.
Yeah, you're kind of off the front by yourself.
Yeah. Or or somebody's ahead of you.
Right, yeah.
If it's killing at Hard Rock.
Well, there is that one example.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a little bit about your specific training ahead of this race, because you do come from the core of Canada. You've been on skis. You've been doing skimo racing. I think you did a 50K a couple weeks ago.
I did, yeah. I did a 50K race called the Nimble Bear 50, which is an awesome race. It's a community race at a town called Kelowna. And
also an awesomely named race.
It's an awesome, all the races, I think the races are called Broken Goat, Nimble Bear. And
Broken Goat. If a
awesome.
Goat falls and gets broken, that's really bad.
Yeah. And so, it was, it wasn't a very competitive race, but it was quite a technical course, very similar terrain to here. And
good training.
Good training, yeah. I mean, it had over 7,000 feet of climbing and 50K, so it was pretty decent.
Yeah.
But otherwise the training's been big weekends on skis. I'll go out midweek for skis, and then throughout the week, when I'm working in the city, a lot of my runs are relatively flat. Yeah. So it's a different type of prep. But
so are we talking throughout the winter, 30K of running during the week, or even less, or? Yeah,
it depends on the week.
Okay.
If I was in the city, I'd run a little bit more, maybe run up to 60K.
Yeah.
But otherwise, and I mean, even then throughout the winter, a lot of my runs were more like scrambles. So, I might be out for 4 hours, but we covered 15K.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's quite vertical and technical. Yeah. And I quite enjoy that sort of more mountaineering style of outing. So, yeah.
So coming into a race like this, it's a lot of Ks, but it's also, there's just a ton of uphill and a ton of downhill. Are you just going to go into it sort of thinking, I'm going to rely on muscle memory here, I'm going to be focused on trying to have good, efficient mechanics so my body holds up as long as possible? What's a person's mentality when they're like, yep, I've spent my winter on skis, I'm fit, but I've been on skis?
Yeah, I think, it really depends on how hot it is for one.
Okay.
The heat will really change things quite a bit. If it gets really hot, then I'll probably suffer a fair bit more. Just because I haven't, you need some acclimation. Once the summer gets going, it's not as big an issue, but at the moment, that's probably my bigger concern. Although it doesn't look like it's going to be brutally hot. Yeah. So first thing is just, keeping your core temperature down, keeping that as manageable as possible throughout as much of the race as possible. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I don't know, the running part doesn't really worry me so much. I do expect to have rather tired legs after about 4.5 hours, but I've also just run for 4.5 hours, so everybody's gonna have tired legs by then.
Feel a little tired.
Yeah, and I know that it is early season for a lot of people as well. So there's a lot of other people who are in a similar situation as me, and we'll see what happens with legs as the race goes on. If I start to feel a bit tired, then I'm feeling a bit tired, and so be it. Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. But the idea is to stay relatively, preserve as much as possible, especially through that first really long climb. It's really easy to burn out quite early here.
Okay.
And then make sure that you have some legs left for the really long downhill. And that's when the heat starts to pick up a little later on in the day as well. So,
Well, that was going to be my next question, was given the field, obviously there's going to be some dudes that just really go out.
Yeah.
It's just kind of Transvulcania style at this point. Are you going to play chase? Try to stay in contact? Are you just going to tuck in, do your own thing?
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens up on top. And
yeah, it's funny because by nature I'm a bit more of a front runner, and I like to be up near the front of a race. I think given my current fitness, that's probably wouldn't be the smartest strategy in the world, but
but I might still do it.
Yeah, I know. Can I overcome my natural urges? You'd think after 20 years I'd have finally learned, but I still like it.
To be continued on the ethics and morality debate, right?
Yeah. No, but last week when I ran that 50K, I felt pretty strong throughout, and I was able to go and run for 3 hours the next day after the 50K, and so my legs actually feel like they're in pretty decent shape right now. It's not that bad. And so you've been doing it long enough that your body kind of knows what to do.
Yeah. Okay, so you might just take it out.
No, I realize that the guys at the front are going to be going really, really hard.
Okay.
But I'm sort of mentally prepared to be in 10th to 20th through the first 10 to maybe through El Pilar, and then see how I'm feeling at that point. But I just don't really know. You can't really control what other people are doing, and I know what sort of a pace I can manage, and the race will take, if you're having a good day, somewhere between 7 to 8 hours. So I'll be making sure that that's sort of my mindset. Yeah, am I going into pace I think I can sustain for that long?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, good luck to you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you out there. And as I said, it's it's such a cool opportunity to be able to come to places like this, and I don't take that for granted.
Yeah.
And, it's pretty magical to sit here sipping a coffee.
I know.
The hardship life. We were just
on that note.
Yeah. My one complaint was that there's too much food at the buffet, right? It's life's really hard.
How will I manage to not gain half a kilo before race day?
Well, if I gain half a kilo, it's okay. Yeah. Hopefully I'll get to work with 8 hours of running on Saturday. I'll help me deal with that. So Anyway, and look forward to seeing you out there, and best of luck with you at your race coming up as well.
Oh wow, thanks.
Yeah. You want to tell people about that a bit?
Oh. No.
Yeah, I think you should. Where are you going?
I am running the Transatlas Marathon in Morocco. Ooh, we're getting a plug for the Transatlas Marathon.
Yeah.
Mohammed, hey.
Yeah. How long's that?
It's a 6-day 280-kilometer stage race in which you don't have to carry all your stuff. You just get to carry a day pack through the Atlas Mountains.
Well, that's amazing. Have you been to the Atlas Mountains before?
I've driven through them a couple times.
Okay,
Haven't
cool.
been on a trail yet, so.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like one heck of a way to knock them all off.
Yeah, I better start training though.
Yeah. Well, will you get to run them all this week while you're here?
Maybe once or
Maybe
twice.
once or twice. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
How are your legs going to handle that then?
It will be, yeah.
Okay.
Well, like you said, everybody feels pain after about 4 hours, don't they?
Exactly. Yeah. So.
No, I'm looking at it as hard rock training. So.
Excellent.
Try to get through the week, have a good time, see some really remote parts of the Atlas Mountains, and not get injured. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can bounce back and maybe be fit for hard rock. So.
Cool. That sounds like an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Good for you for doing that.
Pardon?
Yeah. So good for you for doing that. Sounds like an adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely an adventure.
Cool.
Yeah. Thanks, dude.
Cheers.
Okay, cheers.
Thank you.